Tasha. I needed to go to work. I was an optician. I don't even think I was escorting anymore at the time, because I only started escorting because I was in prison. I got released. I had a great body. I was good with women. So someone hired me to be an escort. So maybe a year or two into it, I stopped. I got a job. I was an optician and I was trying to get my life together. I didn't have time for that, but Cassie paid me so well. It was kind of like a no-brainer. Beautiful woman, $5,000 every time I got to break her down. What? 30
Rico said during our interview last week that the pay was $5,000.
5,000. I only got less than 5,000 one time, and that's the time Diddy drugged me. He gave me $1,500 to go home because I was completely drugged out of my face off of something.
This nigga kept going over there getting drugged.
Hit me, but every other time I got 5,000. The time with Daniel Phillip and winning this orgy, I think I got like $11,000 in total from winning the orgy, then coming back and dusting all.
Well, did he say winning the orgy? I didn't know an orgy was a competition. You can win it. Okay.
Again, I had an extensive history with Cassie. I see your face. You're like, oh my God, yeah.
How many hours did you go?
Oh, the longest I ever had sex with her was 4 days in Miami. You had to put your glasses.
Not 4 days of straight pumping. That's insane. For 4 days. No wonder he's suing. God damn it.
Okay, now hold on for a second. So when you have sex for 4 days, do you stop to pee? Do you take breaks? What happens?
Yeah. It's kind of like, you know something? People don't realize something. Diddy is rich. He's as rich as a king. I don't know if you've ever seen the HBO TV series Rome, like where there was with the Julius Caesar series Rome that they had years ago on HBO.
No, but I'm sure my husband has watched it. He watch all them type of shows. But
okay, a couple of years, HBO had a series, and in this series they had like Cleopatra, Mark Antony. They were smoking opium. They had a bunch of slaves in there that she was sleeping with that had larger members than Mark Antony. This is what a freak-off really was. I was made to be completely naked, baby oil, and basically kept on standby for every time Cassie needed to come. And I would be called to make her come. I didn't have to eat her vagina. I didn't have to kiss her, even though she kissed me, which is disgusting now that I know she was letting people urinate in her mouth.
Yeah, she was doing all that, nigga. They was on top level. This motherfucker, we gonna call this video Inside the Freak Off.
But this is the whole point of
He got Tasha spinning. This is exactly what she wanted. This is what she wanted. This is why she called this nigga. Tasha, you just as bad as Cassie.
Oh my God, man. Oh my God.
Keep going. You are an excellent storyteller, and we look forward to this book. I'm gonna give you a week's worth of promotion on this book across all my platforms. That is on me for keeping your word, for coming through here, and for dropping this wine. We are going to heavily promote. Get his ass on the roster. Go ahead.
He traumatized. Don't use that kind of language.
Okay.
I promised you I would tell you the truth, because that's what this is about. You know, Diddy might have did a lot of bad stuff. He's horribly abusive to women. We all know this. This is his track record, but he does not deserve an unfair trial. No. And if there's evidence that says that Cassie's involved, they should not be holding that to make her look like this holier than art thou battered woman. He was abusive. He was abusive, but he wasn't abusive because she didn't want to have sex. That's the exact opposite. He was abusive because he would catch us having sex behind his back. She would emasculate him about his penis size because he's not that big. She would always get smart with him. And Diddy, from what I saw, Diddy is although he's incredibly successful, he's incredibly insecure. His ego is on everything. He would compete with me to try to sleep with Cassie better than me while he was paying me to do it, which was insane.
Psycho. Wow. Compensate much?
An example, let's say I'm having sex with her. She comes, she's laying in the bed. She's like, oh my God, shaking. I usually would get up and stand off to the side to let him watch her react.
Here comes Sean.
He would jump on top of her right after and try to have sex with her, I guess, to make her come again. Now,
how you gonna do that? So he just torturing himself. I get. So he wanted to be able to, you know, he's like, I got big money, I got big cars and everything, but I just can't sock it to her the way I want to. Damn, homie.
3 times larger than him, I would probably say, just off a glance. I never had a sexual relationship with him. I need to say that because you have a
Whatever, nigga.
Keep going.
in a room
Come
with this
back
guy
up.
for 8 years. So it's like playing on basketball. When you're walking around with people on the basketball team, you're going to see things you don't want to see. So unfortunately, I saw Sean Combs' member. It's not big. So I believed Cassie when she said, yo, listen, my husband has a small penis. I'm hiring you because you can satisfy me. He likes to watch. I had absolutely no reason to doubt that she was telling the truth to that.
Did he?
Classic. You know I'm supposed to say it, but the C word. Wow.
Micro penis or something?
It just was small, you know. He big pockets, little member. That's just what it was, man. He big pockets.
Yo, Tasha nosy as I don't know what. How big? God damn, yo. That's crazy, yo.
And women don't care. No disrespect. Women don't care when you got a lot of money. Listen, you got a lot of money. We can get around that. He got enough money. She was a young, horny girl. She liked to have sex. And this was the arrangement. He took her around. They would have these freak-offs because she was into the swinger lifestyle. She tried to take me to strip clubs. She invited me to swinger parties. She would talk to me about the lifestyle and how her and Sean like to sometimes get together and get with other couples.
Crazy.
So I was completely dumbfounded when I heard the fact that she was saying she was made to have these sexual relationships. And I'm like, when? I saw you being forced. I never saw you being afraid. The only time.
Wow. So if what he's saying is true, if that's the true dynamic, Puff was always in like a torture limbo space. He wanted to be these dudes, while it seems simultaneously kind of wanted to be Cassie too, because you know he had the thing with the jizz and the nips and all that. But wow, what a crazy place to be. And they say that, you know, dudes compensate in that way, but it's crazy to see it in real life. Wow. Damn, son, that's why he's so mad. Nigga angry, furious, god damn it. There's nothing you can do about it, son. I don't know what to tell you, son.
So you're afraid is when he would catch you nutting behind his back when you told me to do it. So what are you talking about, you know?
Nutting behind his back. So which means like,
good example. I remember a situation, he got a phone call. So the rules of these freak-offs or swinger parties was if he's watching as a voyeur, we can't do anything sexually when he's not there. And that's a basic trust issue between men and women who are involved in a swinger relationship.
But she wants some real meat. She like, man, I'm worried about her. And he like, his eyes probably got big. He gone. We not supposed to. She like, now I can really. Because no matter what she did, she probably ain't really, you know what I'm saying? No matter what you do, if you performing for somebody, like even here when I'm talking to y'all, if I'm doing this, I'm as natural as I could be, but I'm never gonna be like I'm trying to do it now. But I'm never gonna be as comfortable as I would be if nobody's around. So she wanna do it to him for real. So when Puffy leave the room, that's when it really go down, and nothing probably makes him more upset. Here we go.
Allow someone in your bedroom, you're expecting that person to follow the rules. Usually, if you're dealing with a couple where the man is consenting to you sleeping with his wife, the man is in control of that situation. So if he doesn't want you to do it right, you can't. That's just the swinger lifestyle. And anyone who knows about the swinger lifestyle knows I'm telling the truth. If you've gone out.
But that's a crazy illusion for a person to think that they would upkeep. Because if that's the rule, it still couldn't be that big of a deal because we do it all the time. It's like sneaking in the cake, which would probably make it worse because then you know that that's really, really, really what she wants, which you probably want. I ain't trying to get into all this craziness. Keep going.
Got someone in your bedroom, let's say for your husband, even if the woman likes the guy, she still has to defer to her husband because when that man leaves, you still got to live with your husband. It's common sense. So this is what Cassie would do. She would defer to Diddy just to make sure he was okay with the fact that she was giving me head. that she might want to keep having sex. And Cassie was insatiable. He never made her have sex with. He never insinuated, yo, why don't you take some D?
I ain't say it. That man was in the room.
Never said that. She would go, she would tell him I'm ready. He would say, okay, you could start. He would watch, but he would be more of a protector. He would make sure nothing happened to her. He was incredibly protective of her.
They didn't put you or Rico on the stand.
No, because they knew we were going to say that she was complicit. And it's nothing wrong with her being complicit. He's still guilty of sex trafficking. Like, look.
I think he's guilty of sex trafficking of you guys, not necessarily her.
The stuff they're exposing. In order to be guilty of sex trafficking and this RICO that they're charging him with, he basically just has to know about it, have benefited in some way, and financed it, which he clearly all did by booking rooms in the name of Frank Black. Mind you, I've checked into Frank Black rooms probably 15 times. Every room I checked into from Miami, LA, New York, I checked in under Frank Black, so I could verify that. The abuse, I physically saw him assault her at least 5 times. I can verify that.
But these weren't the things she was on trial for. Well, the trafficking, yes, but not the abuse. But go ahead.
Got her pregnant. She told me I got her pregnant to my face. Let's see. It was a lot. I have no reason why they did not call me other than the fact I released that book, and they were afraid that if the fence got to me and they started asking me about Cassie, I was gonna say, yo, listen, no, that didn't happen. He didn't do that.
And yes,
yo, I know her husband is heated. I don't care what nobody say, especially after hearing a dude like this. Don't save Cassie's husband. Don't let him see this. He might snap. And they about to lose that 30. That 30 that she just went out and grabbed right quick. That's going away. And how much you want to bet she got another one of him somewhere right now. Probably ain't called him in a while, but she got that 30. She was like, come on through, babe.
As a millionaire, as anybody, you can't solicit prostitutes and pay them. Like, it is against the law. And it
for real, but like federally, it ain't RICO. We know that.
Carries a long time. It's kind of,
and it's not against the law everywhere. It's not against the law in Nevada.
It's teetering the lines of being a pimp.
It is.
You know, and they take that kind of stuff serious. And even though girls are, it's crazy how the pimps get more time than the actual prostitutes.
It is.
Like, I feel like they have to do some changes when it comes to the laws behind that, because if girls are choosing to have a pimp and the pimp is there to protect them and ensure that they're not getting mistreated during their, I guess, encounters with men and stuff like that, and they have to pay the pimp for protection because, like, how is he going to make money? I don't know. I just feel like, you know, to me, even though, yeah, he did all this shit, but I feel like the feds, they love a big cash out. 400 million is at stake that they're going to seize. Yeah. I don't even think he'll have money for an appeal. They're going to have to go straight for a pardon. And then they'll be able to...
I think Trump got him. That's just my personal opinion. I think Trump got him.
To keep all of that. The Justice Department will inherit $400 million that was, I guess, made off of sex trafficking or illegal criminal crimes using his organization, bad boy records and all that stuff. And meanwhile, they get to retire off of that money. And it's like, why can't he retire off? Why are you allowed to get retire off of money that you say is made illegally, and y'all get to use it to pay federal witnesses and pay for y'all retirement as well, too? The money should be burned, right? Nobody should get the money.
True. And it should...
Nah, America is big daddy, so it's always get the money.
To go to the true victims, some of the male prostitutes that this has happened to have, like, I'm in law school. I completely changed my life. I was a male escort 15 years ago. I went back to school. I'm trying to get a law degree now. So this coming up at this point in my life is incredibly embarrassing, but I realize it's something.
And he could use about 30 mil, you know what I'm saying? Help a nigga get through, you know.
To deal with. So when I actually started looking into what I was involved with this whole RICO and sex trafficking thing, considering I studied the law, I started reading the statute. I read a bunch of cases, and I realized that the primary witnesses in sex trafficking cases are usually like drug addict women that were prostitutes, they robbed men, etc. But they're usually always the crux of the government's case. What the prostitutes say are pretty much what is verbatim, and that's what gets a pimp convicted. Look at Diddy's case. Look at how all of the male escorts, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them, are pretty much telling you Cassie's involved. Why are they not listening to any of us? They literally throw our faces out there, our information's out there. They're not trying to protect any of us. They don't.
Nope, not one bit. None of that victim talk, none of that please don't tender people, none of that stuff for them.
Damn. They're throwing us out there. They used us for material, and then they literally just left us out to be left to just to the wolves and to the media. They would have never did this to women who were caught up in the sex trafficking ring.
No.
These
They do
prostitutes.
protect them.
You wouldn't have even been allowed to see their faces had they not wanted to. They wouldn't have been able to call them prostitutes. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have been. You know, it's a whole. Nobody cares about men. We know that.
They do protect
They
women.
They protect them. I got people contacting me online. You're showing these videos. My name is coming up in all of the transcripts. I had Tisa Tells. Oh my God, Tisa Tells makes the most slanderous, defamatory video on me. She said,
I gotta hit her up too.
Diddy flipped me as a schmex worker. Diddy never flipped me. I haven't talked to Diddy since 2019. I've been a cooperating prosecution witness the entire prosecution. How could you make up a podcast claiming that Diddy flipped me? Diddy never flipped me. I'm not talking to Diddy. I'm telling the truth. Now, because I'm telling the truth and you're advocating for Diddy to go to jail because you build a platform of making him look like a complete piece of crap, which he actually is, you don't want to put anything out that says that Cassie might be complicit. You want to keep making Cassie look like a victim.
Like they can't both be, abusers and users.
He's a victim of domestic violence, Tasha. We can't take that away from him. He did horrible things. I saw him two-piece her in the chest, and if you don't know what that means, that's a 1-2 punch, a jab and a right hand. I saw him hit her like that and knock her across the room. I saw him kick her. I saw him grab her up. I saw him pull her by her hair. I saw him push her. He was abusive to her, but it wasn't because of sex. It was because he's an abusive man and they were in a toxic, drug-fueled relationship.
Right.
Their emotions are going. They're high off drugs for days. He's getting jealous because other guys are piping her out and she's enjoying it. Even though he's letting her do it, he's still getting jealous because these other men are giving her more pleasure. Right. She argues with him. He doesn't know how to deal with it. He hits her. That's not him forcing her to have sex.
Yo, where was this dude? This dude should have been on the stand.
So what was the hotel video about? Like, they said that there was a freak off going on then, and they're saying that he pulled her back in the room because he wanted her to finish and that he had paid the sex worker. But I did hear, and I can't remember if it was testimony or not, or just, blogs talking. Because, I'm
Tasha got the all the way low cut. It look good. Okay, Tasha.
Following the case every day because, we've been talking about Diddy for years. And so this is just kind of overkill at this point. It's overkill. But like, I was told that she had took his phone or something like that. And he was trying to get his phone back. And so what was that? Did you know the specifics of that particular freak off and what happened?
I don't, but I have something to say about that. From what I've read about that freak off, they were with another guy, Jules Theodore. Now, Jules, if they were with,
do they all know each other like a basketball team?
There was a male escort in the room. Why didn't that male escort testify to the fact that Cassie was trying to escape? Here's what I believe. I believe that guy would have testified that the argument was not because Cassie was trying to escape the freak off. It was probably because she was jealous because he was texting other women from his phone. Because I saw her get like that. She would watch to see who he was texting. She was his girlfriend. She gets jealous. He's a billionaire and he's a hoe. She know he got a bunch of girlfriends. She know he don't want her. So of course she's on a stance where she has to make sure that this guy is not cheating on her. She wants to know. So they probably were in the room. She went through his phone. She might have saw something. She thought he was texting a woman. She decided to leave. They got into a fight. He got caught up. Now here's the interesting part. I heard during this trial when I was watching that about 3 weeks after, they had a freak off in Miami with me. These are the texts that I heard. Now, they have this fight. She gets beat up. She has to recover. A couple of weeks later, they decide to have another freak off. She tells him they need to change the energy. They need to change the person. The next thing they do is fly to Miami. They call me. How is this someone who's being sex trafficked? And she clearly tells you we need to change the enemy. Then she calls the same guy, because this was what, 2016, 2015 when he beat her?
She been inside the rotation. She ain't mean like a whole new one. Just you know, she pulled the old dildo out the drawer.
I was sleeping with her 6 years, 7 years by then. She deliberately calls me from New York to have sex with her in Miami 3 or 4 weeks after he beats her up in his hotel and is making her have sex. Make it make sense. She's lying. She was a part of this. They were fighting probably because he had a woman. She didn't like that. He beat her up. She got over it because the truth is she was in love. She was extremely in love with him. She talked about it all the time. She wanted to have kids. She wanted to get married with him, which I thought was weird because I'm thinking you're letting me slut you out, but you want this guy to marry you? How is he supposed to respect you? But I never asked questions, Tasha. They're paying me. It's not my job to ask questions. It's my job to satisfy. So that's exactly what I did. That's what I have to say about that assault, though. I think that assault, I think they were fighting over his phone. I think she got mad. She tried to leave the room, and the male escort in the room can verify it. That's why he didn't testify. Because it makes no sense why myself or Jules Theodore, the two escorts they mentioned the most and the longest.
All right, and I can't keep going on. This is crazy. If you want to see more of this, it's called Cassie's Freak Off Worker Tells All, Extreme Details Revealed. You can find it on Tasha K's channel, and I will also leave the link in the description. Thank you so much, everybody. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you know when we drop.